Just a short video on installing the tow bar on the Chery Tiggo8. This happens to be a Towbars Australia tow bar. I think every aftermarket tow bar is going to be similar, as they all have the same points to mount up to. But anyway, a couple of things. Where they do mount up, there's spacer blocks, and this is all seam sealer, and unless you remove the seam sealer, the space is too tight to actually get the spacer blocks. So I'll show you what I mean. If I just get under, so you'll see in between the rail, this is the tow bar, and that's the mounting point for the tow bar, and in between the chassis rail and that is spacers, and you'll see that's all surrounded with seam sealer, which is everywhere, and you know that's good as far as sealing the car, and it's a very rubberized product all through there, and it's all up in the chassis rail. So you've got to scrape that away with a scraper just to be able to get these blocks in, because there won't be enough space once you've got one side in or the other. This side, I initially pulled out that rubber, this one for the exhaust hanger, but then I realized after I put the tow bar in place, I'd never be able to get that rubber back on again. So I had to put the rubber back on and then pull the tow bar bracket up and over and start on this side, just get things loosely connected. But again, up in there you'll see spacer blocks, and they definitely need the seam sealer taken out, space in there as well, because you just won't be able to get the blocks in place. You'll do it on one side, but then when you get to the other side, it's all going to be too tight to get in. So yeah, one or the other. The other thing as well, take the spare wheel out before you start, because that's going to be in your way. It just that just slips through after you loosen it from inside the cab. And the spare wheel, that was really dirty when I took it out too. This is a brand new car, so where they sit while they're waiting to be sold, I don't know. I've given it a quick clean down, the rear suspension, the swing arms, etc., because yeah, very dirty under there. So it must have been sitting around for a while before being sold, even though it's a late model, only a month or so old. Anyway, next thing is the wiring. I've got a generic wiring loom. So these generic wiring looms, they or universal it calls it, they have a little smart box, and they take a signal from each of the lights, the blinkers, the brakes, etc., because that's on a low voltage LEDs. And then there's a main live feed which converts it into a 12 volt output for the tow bar and the trailer, and that's a built-in fuse that you can see there as well. But that's next anyway. So once I've taken some of the rear out to get to the lights wiring, I'll check in again. The other thing I forgot to mention is there's no clearance between this drop bar and the rear bumper panel, valance, whatever you call it. So the tow bar is hard up against it. I'm assuming they want you to give you a bit of relief by grinding back the plastic on this piece. There's a bolt in there that I've removed, and by removing the bolt, it allowed it to come back a little bit, because one thing you'll find when trying to bolt this tow bar in is you need it to come back. The brackets, when you're bolting them in, they need to come back as far as possible. So yeah, either you're going to have to grind that off a little bit, or undo the bolt, which is a little 10mm, just the one. And with that out, the plastic valance, I forget if that's the name, it allows it just to move a little bit with the tow bar. I thought for a minute the spare tyre wasn't going to fit after putting the tow bar in, but You just have to feed the front of it first up into the above the exhaust as you're raising it, and let the tail follow, and it sort of sits into place as it raises up then. But it sits right up against the tow bar at the front, or the back I should say, but still sits where it should do everywhere else, so it's all good. Hi everyone, regarding the wiring for the Chery, in my haste I forgot to actually videotape it, so just a quick rundown. I've put a table together for the wiring that I found when I took the plastic covers off the back of the Chery, and they basically guide you into which wire activates which bulb for the trailer. So just follow that and you can't go too far wrong. There is the old cigarette lighter or power supply in the boot, which there's two wires coming from that, and that helps you with providing the live and the earth for the wiring as well. It's all fairly straightforward, everything just unclips. There's a couple of screws if you have a quick look around before you start tackling the job. I put the majority of the wiring on the left hand side of the car, and I then had to just run a wire around to the right side tail lights for the right indicator, if that makes sense. So everything was connected to the left hand side except for the right indicator, which I ran the wire around to the right hand tail light assembly for that wire only. But yeah, once that's done, I tested it all and I got it all perfect first go, which I was pretty happy about. So yeah, that should be enough for you to get by and tackle a job yourself if you are a little bit that way inclined. If you don't feel comfortable doing it, give it to a professional, because you know you may blow something up and that's your warranty gone if you're going to be doing it yourself. So anyway, all the best with it. Hope it works out. Cheers. Give us a like if you can.